Hello friends, this is Giuliano here. It's time for a monthly roundup. We're going to take a look at where September left us off on the monthly price charts for Bitcoin and altcoins. We're going to look at the altcoin Bitcoin pairs as usual. So let's jump into it. We'll start with Bitcoin USD and move over from there. Yeah, hope you're doing well. And this is what we've got. This is the monthly price chart. And we're going to look at trends and levels, basically trends and levels on a monthly time frame. So here we are, monthly wise. I guess, you know, the previous potential trend lines, wherever you want to draw them, they are now in play differently. So I think we are now going to watch where does this thing go. I think the uptrend is no longer necessarily anything of significance, unless this ends up being your uptrend. Then you're in a weird scenario. If this is your uptrend, then you've broken it. And I mean, on a closing basis, of course, it makes sense. And if we want to take away the candle noise there, you can see, okay, we'll take this away for now, that this trend here is broken to the downside, retested, failed. And so on the monthly overall, it's relatively bearish in that sense. So let me just make sure we're not drawing anything on lower time frames. So there's your monthly significant trend line, really. We get back there to the candles, and yeah, you can see that action. And as we zoom in and get a little closer to this local scenario, you can see weakness here and turning over, and we're at the lows. And so in terms of trends in this direction, we're still working with this, and it's broken down below that. So we are here with this, and let's make that into and yeah, and in terms of levels, you know, we are right at the previous all-time high wick level, basically, and it's just weak and looks breaking down. Lower end of Bollinger Band is down here. Here is the candle closing of the previous all-time high. So on that note, I think we can work with that zone and say, all right, there's a good chance this is breaking down slowly and coming down lower. Will it touch this orange first? I get now the sense, the energy, that probably come down first and then go over the orange. And it could even stay below this Ichimoku and eventually get above it before, you know, 2025. And I think you have that within the time frame. Here's 2025. Here's the formation of the cloud, just the red lower end of the cloud there. So yeah, stuff like that is definitely possible. I mean, it doesn't have to go straight up, but sometimes it does. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. But I think a move into this zone is the next deal. And then you look for this to hold as your support. Otherwise, then you get all of this price action here. And this, and this, and this becomes your next really holding line level. And that's around the 10 and a half-ish thing. So let's get that there. Yeah, so currently that's what the BTC looks like. We won't be surprised if the price comes down here, but we'll also watch on lower time frames to see if there's any potential for it to fill this space here and hold this support. But it's looking less and less. But yeah, you got to stay on the lower time frames to see more clearly in the momentary daily thing and weekly. All right, so that's it for now on BTC. I think we're good. It shows us a trend, shows us breakdown of a trend, but you know, we do have price action down here, so it's less of a big deal. And so that's fine. And even if you do break a trend, that's fine. You can break it and spend, you know, let's say you break it in this candle here and you spend, I don't know how much time, a whole bunch of time. You could be a whole year here, 12 bars, 18 bars, you know, where you're still kind of below this level here. And then after that, it becomes irrelevant, just like the previous trends that were broken. Like these trends, they get broken and then they continue. And I mean, even this, it looked like, you know, it did one of those. So maybe that's the next thing going to happen, you know, in the future, or what's going to happen with this trend line. It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with this trend. Where will it be challenged, and will it just be another you know, resistance the way it was, this orange one was previously, which will change into purple. Okay, so there you have it, some interesting trends. And then here are the levels for consideration on BTC. We're still clearing out this momentum. So yeah, it might take some time here. It can look into towards 2023, 2024 and still see BTC getting rejected, you know, like just getting to like the 40,000 levels. And then looking for holding and then going higher, similar to this kind of action. Well, we'll see. It's going to be fascinating to watch. Okay, that's it for now. Look out below and watch this orange trend line to be broken to the right side. Okay, moving along. Let's check KMD. Actually, we'll check KMD on the monthly using the Bittrex data, because you know, you get a full picture of KMD. And in terms of trends, you know, you get that beginning candle in the March 2017 month that shows up, and that fits with all of this price action. You get this kind of deviation here, but these two candles beside it, you know, it all fits with this trend in a general energetic sense. So you're still below that, interestingly. Now, apart from that, on a monthly, we're really close to, well, we've broken, I guess if we're looking at the like the closing of the previous highs, and also really cutting through their wicks and touching the next two significant wicks, and even this this price action now would be said to have broken out from this downtrend, this pink downtrend. So you are just in recent time significantly broken out of this downtrend, like however you want to hold on to it. You could argue that you were even broken down before, or maybe you deviated and then you broke down here. Either way, it's a challenging downtrend, but there is a chance, there is a hope, and this is what the consideration is to somehow form a horizontal consolidation, whatever the levels will be, okay? Because at this point, you've broken out of this huge downtrend. Now you're really close to this wedging price action here, this downward wedging price action. The slope is much less, it's not as steep over time. And so, yeah, you're soon to be here. This is in like 2023 spring, okay? Or let's say end of the year 2022 into 2023 here. So at any point, we could hope and look and expect for the price to move higher. Otherwise, I mean, that's a significant scenario. The other option, of course, is just some sidewaysing, but even then, looking for an eventual kind of bottoming, rounding, but better would be to at least come and challenge that there and see then if this horizontal level here made by this previous low and this low here, and then broken down and challenged with this price action, but not held, like you need to get back above it. And that's this red line here that goes forward. So will the price be able to push out of this downtrending, you know, wedge, this downward wedge to the upside? And in that sense, then you look for something horizontal to form over time. And that's a turning around of a really long-term chart. And the next hope or consideration is for the price to then appreciate to the upside and start a different direction, maybe on a longer time frame. But that would be interesting in and of its own. I mean, even on a longer time frame, the different direction in this case, it can happen very fast. And then, you know, that would be the upside direction very fast. And then the downside direction very slow and just continue to go and go and go. So this has taken a big move to the downside since it's all highs. and now is finally, you know, coming out of to the other side over these previous months, you know, this year. It's coming out of the other side of this price action. It's got some time, but look for it to move higher. I mean, I don't see why not. At the same time, it could just be small-bodied weakness, and the price could just fiddle itself, and you know, who knows what happens after that. By this point, you're towards the end of 2023 and into 2024 here. So anyway, that's interesting for KMD. It's interesting to watch some of these longer terms, the ones that have like made consecutively lower lows, looking for their sideways bottoming, something like XRP. So we're going to also see that one after. Okay, so that's KMD. Overall, it's in a good position considering it has moved to the right of this overall big energetic downtrend. Okay, now it's just a matter of time. Things take time. This is October of 2019. We are in October of 2022 here. So that's that amount of time. Just take that amount of time again. You're getting close, if not into 2025. Okay. Yeah, so look for some sideways long term, and then the next hope is up. All right, well, we'll see. We'll have to stick around for that. I hope you do too, and I hope I do too, and looking forward to those times. Okay, we're running over to the FireChain chart, the 1 monthly. This is definitely the horizontal level to watch. Otherwise, you're running back down here most likely on a monthly. And price-wise, you are trying to break to the right side of this downtrend. Trying to break to the right side of this downtrend. You're not quite there yet. But it's a monthly. It's going to take some time. Danger is then, because of that, is the price going to just flop down to the lower side of things? Is the price just going to flop? Possible, and that's when you get to these types of levels. So it's coming soon, or you're going to jump to the other side. You're going to jump to the other side of this downtrend and hopefully hold this horizontal support zone. That's pretty cool. That's pretty huge. So yeah, you've got this horizontal range, and then in that case, if you do break to the right side of this, the curiosity is, do you use this range again, or what happens from there? So yeah, interesting. We'll watch on the FireChain, but coming to an interesting inflection point, either this way or this way. Okay, not much else to say for FireChain on the monthly, other than this is your next horizontal level. So I guess we will carve that out and we'll put it in this color. Okay. Until next time, FireChain. Let's look at ADA on the monthly. Yeah. Oof, looking a little weak here on the weekly, but that's another story. So here we are on the monthly, also looking weak. Previous 2 months, really, August and September, have been green, but really not. And it's just been a lot of wick more than anything. So the price is really flat, and the volatility has been just liquidity being exchanged higher up, and that's weakness to the upside. And you know, when you're getting a price action here, and it's at this level, and then when you break below it and you come up to it, and you're getting this kind of weakness here, and it doesn't even reach those levels, then likelihood is you come down lower. I don't see why not. I just don't see why not. And that matches this kind of price action here, consolidation, and further down. Concern then is, do you break below here? This is lower end of the Bollinger Band. So let's see what kind of extension, you'd be from here. Let's say you stop here because you get this intermediate thing that goes up here. So whatever, we'll let it be like that. 1-to-1 is down here, 78.6 is here. I mean, these are rough estimate numbers. Let us instead take away some of the noise. Yeah, I see it stops around there. Like you get a big down here, it kind of stops here, consolidates, even though the price swings in whatever volatility. Yeah, it stops around here, right? And then it swings, whatever, who cares about this? It keeps going down. So we're here. So we'll do that again. And basically down here, but we'll use the price itself and say, okay, yeah, you can come down towards this Bollinger Band, 1-to-1 movement, whatever. Interesting. Either way, it makes sense. It makes sense for the ADA price chart to, after making super low to super high, come down, consolidate, and then keep coming down, and then find its real bottom for the next cycle. That just makes sense. Question is, what level ends up holding? Well, I like lower end of the Bollinger Band. It fits well with this price action here. Okay, awesome. And you know, you're below Bollinger Band, you broke down just recently, you look here, you got weakness here. If this was a 1-day chart, a 1-week chart, 4-hour chart, it's not as strong, is it? It's weak, and you might expect a move down here. Okay. That's just what it is. We'll see though, we'll see. You could hold. So we'll check lower time frames, stick around for that, but that's monthly on ADA. Yeah, it looks like things are, you know what, 2023 ain't going to be the greatest. It looks like based on some of these charts. 2024 is so hopeful in towards 2025. Well, let's see, let's find out, okay? Theta against BTC. It's nice to run through the monthlies on these charts because then we can see, yeah, you remember this price action on monthly time frame? Look, some more weakness here. You know, at least you got to these levels, but it's thin. It's thin. At least that means you're trying to hold up the upside, but likely to fall down. Question is, can you hold this for a second time? Or do you like the others? Are they all going to come down to their lower end of the Bollinger Band? A lot of these, we'll see. It'll be very interesting. It doesn't have to touch lower end, but you know what I'm saying? Because here's the price action here. So, but it'll be very interesting. I can't wait to see what ends up happening here with Theta. And like we've said, if this is some sort of consolidation here, and then it's coming down, how hard does it come down? What's the slope? All of that kind of stuff. But we're into 2023 towards 2024 here. So, you know, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting times for the altcoins against Bitcoin. These are the altcoin Bitcoin charts, right? Even the BTC chart was potentially relatively weak, right? So anyway, let's see ICX on the monthly. Yeah, you know, you're like really weak at the lows of the lows, not looking solid for ICX. But yeah, maybe this is part of a larger accumulation pattern and it needs to make some sort of a big capitulation spring. We'll see. We'll see. This is not looking terrific. That's for sure on ICX on the monthly. Next is Darrow against BTC. We'll take this price chart, look at it on the monthly and show this weakness as well and say, okay, we'll do something similar, just check some sort of one-to-one extension. And yeah, you come down towards these levels. I mean, you really don't even need those things at this point. You can use the price and say, yeah, it'll come around there, you know. In that case, I mean, we already have it all marked out. And basically, these are the levels. So interestingly enough, I mean, over time, these after they do their pumps, they take their time and they do their dumps, their corrections, their consolidations, whatever you want to call it, depending on how you see it. But yeah, I see like we've done this price action here on the downturn. If we're just looking at the consolidation, we've done this price action here. Okay, so I see like three parts of it. Let's have some fun. I see this part of it here as one down. And then we have this part as like the beginning sideways. It breaks down, confirms that it's weak. And then we get this second sideways. And then we'll have our final breakdown that matches this first breakdown. And then we can figure out what comes next. I get that's the sense. Like, so then we have this whole thing here, including that green candle, because it's going the opposite direction of the trend locally. The trend is down locally. So, so this downtrend here, okay, let's actually give it a trend line. Darrow, there's your trend line. It's been respected relatively. So who knows how much more sideways it needs. This is end of December, this is beginning of January 2023 right here in this box. And then what happens? Maybe we continue down a bit more and towards the spring of 2023 and then have a bounce up. So maybe in the spring of 2023, Darrow does go up, you know, like March, April, whatever it is. It goes up, but it goes up from a lower level, only to possibly just reach the current levels, might even not even make it to these levels, might get rejected around these levels here. So interestingly, that'll be what we watch for. There's our downtrend, and here's our horizontal level. It matches around this Ichimoku cloud formation here. And it's this, I'll color it a little bit more yellow. All right, that's it for now on Darrow on the monthly. Moving along to TRAC, origin trail against BTC. Also relative weakness on the weekly. Looks like the local downtrend is going to continue, but you never know. On the monthly, that means the price is likely coming down to this horizontal zone here and hopefully can hold. But if not, you might see some wicks or even candle closing below these levels. But again, yeah, here's the spring of 2023 in here, let's say February, March, April, whatever it's going to be. So imagine the price weak comes down and then it has its rally, its bounce. And in that case, imagine price can go up from, you know, from wherever it really dumps to or whatever. Oops. Imagine it goes up, let's say, 100%. That might be the rally in the 2023 early part of the year. Might be a 100% rally against BTC. I mean, you could put in one BTC and come out with two. None of it's financial advice, but anyway. But then at that point, after you come down here, you made your 150% rally. Maybe then you keep coming down, and it becomes a longer term chart, just like that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me on a monthly. It makes the right shapes, doesn't it? Anyway, who knows, but we'll see, but it makes sense. Oh, like, could be rough, huh? Okay, well, we'll see. Definitely could be rough. That's what these charts are telling us right now. Altcoins against Bitcoins on a monthly long-term time frame could be rough. One glimmer of hope could be BNB. You're starting to push the top of this Bollinger Band again. Do you have what it takes, or are you going to break down and come back below on a monthly level and then make whatever top formation you could be making? I don't know. I only hope and pray that BNB can keep going higher. It'll be interesting to watch this level here, this previous high and this high now. Oh no, what if they combine to make some sort of upward wedging move and then you dump down and that ends up being what it is? Well, we'll see. Stick around till 2025 and find out. Here's January 2025. But anyway, no, it looks good. It looks cool. Here are some, but these are some trends to consider. And this is your horizontal level, which you're currently fighting on a lower time frame. So this, we're going to get rid of that on this time frame. And instead, we'll take the previous highs, both in wick format and also in candle closing format, which feels like more important there, roughly there, okay? So on the monthly level, this is where you start concerning, and obviously you got your 20-month moving average coming up towards your 2. So if you were to be breaking down these levels, then it's a big concern. So that's BNB on the monthly. And remember, we looked here, we were wondering back in like June, July, or whenever that was, maybe even May, are we going to get this monthly cross on the MACD bearish? And no, it didn't happen. It just went higher. But I mean, how much longer can it happen? And even this histogram is smaller than the previous one. But the price is higher. And although there's no negative momentum island here, there wasn't a true cross here, but it's got to give you a bit of pause, doesn't it? I mean, at least if you look here on the RSI, can you say that you're making a divergence here on the RSI? Because this is all the way back in 2021. It's here. So I would say that feels valid. But anyway, that is the potential that we have in here on BNB. Now the question is maybe not, maybe it's not because more locally it goes from here to here. More locally, so there is a higher price. So, I mean, what are you going to say? It's not going to matter. We're going to find out by price action before the RSI tells us. I mean, the RSI could be telling us, but we don't know until the price action confirms it. So we'll watch out this price action on BNB long term. Okay, awesome. Well, until next time, that's BNB on the monthly. Now we move over to Link. Chainlink. Weekly looks like it might be hitting resistance, but we'll see. Monthly definitely is hitting price level resistances. Now, at least it got higher than this previous price, but it didn't really quite get here, but it's getting into this price here, which is a supportive price previously, but is it going to now become a resistance price? So yeah, that's the levels here. We are at the levels for Link. And in terms of dynamic levels, we've got this 20-month moving average that's potentially rejecting it. Chainlink could definitely go sideways for a bit before then continuing down, finding that lower end of the Bollinger Band or whatever. We're going to see what ends up happening here. But if it can hold these levels, that's pretty good on the monthly as well as lower timeframes. But you're getting challenged by this resistance here. So you're gonna have to find something now, but what you have going for it is you've had a lot of negative momentum on the monthly. However, it's only now just really curling from the negative side of things. Previously, the MACD signal lines were in the positive. So it could still need time to sort itself out, and whatever positive momentum you get could just be some sideways action or whatever. We'll see. Okay, but it'll be interesting to see on Chainlink. But if it does hold these levels, you can look for another 100%. And again, maybe that'll be in 2023. Maybe Chainlink will be heading up to these levels in 2023 to try and challenge that. So we'll see. We'll see. That'll be interesting to look out for. All right. So that's potential to the upside. Cool. That's against BTC as well. All right. We'll watch that horizontal level in the coming month or two. Look for XRP on the monthly. Also looks like the weekly where there's resistance and it could be holding here. You got this previous price action, but now you're above it. This previous candle closing from back in November, December 2017. And then you have the wicks of August, September 2019. Wow. I mean, clearly a pivotal line here level. And now you've broken through it, just closed above it, and now looking to hold it as support. But you've got a whole month ahead of you, so who knows what that's going to look like. I imagine there's a chance the downward pressure on price would like to bring it to the 20-month moving average, that's for sure, at least to confirm support. Anyway, yeah, you get rejection off top end of the Bollinger Band. Do you have enough to get higher? Might not be. But if you can stay above at least this level here where this candle came from, you'd hope so, right? I mean, on lower timeframes, that's significant. Yeah, actually, on the monthly, you're looking to probably consolidate and keep going higher. You want to hold this no more than a month or two, and then try and go higher with price. So you know what, monthly is looking pretty decent on XRP. See these MACD signals, even though there's been a lot of positive momentum, it's been coming from the negative side of things a lot. So yeah, there's definitely room to keep pushing. So that'll be interesting to see for XRP. Considering you're basically either going to get rejected by this price action here levels, because you kind of did on one candle, but I get the sense you can break out of it. So yeah, look for it. Look for it on XRP. Either that, or you're going to see on lower timeframes that it starts breaking down, and then yeah, you got to watch out. Okay, so that's a trend line on XRP, and I guess technically it fits with this trend here. So we're going to know very fast soon, next month or two. Okay, so watch out, XRP on the monthly, a lot of potential there. You're definitely challenging the previous, like the previous lows, significant lows here. So you got to get above this level, and then you're good to go. I mean, and technically you are above that level. If we look at it again, you technically are above it, but the whole month is ahead. So we'll see what ends up happening. See on the next monthly roundup. Watch out for XRP. Okay, Ethereum monthly roundup. Oh, I didn't check XMR, we'll do that as well. Monthly roundup for Ethereum is not looking great, and we are very close to find out if we're going to break this 20-month moving average to the downside and come towards this lower end of the Bollinger Band, this uptrending line, this Ichimoku cloud forming. Looks like it could use a lot more negative momentum here on Ethereum, but we shall see. Oof. Definitely not looking to go higher on Ethereum for a while. So watch for this to break down potentially. And this becomes the next significant horizontal level here, where you have this previous support levels here and resistance levels here. So something like that. So there you go. Watch out, Ethereum. But it'll tell us a lot of information in towards here's the spring of 2023. And here's beginning of 2024. So into 2024, we're going to know a lot about Ethereum's trend. That's going to be awesome. Stick around for 2024 on Ethereum. Okay, yeah, let's jump to XMR. We've been using Colonials. Yeah, cool. This is the monthly, and I don't really need to see this on the monthly though. Okay, top of the Bollinger Band we came to, and we are consolidating there. Yeah, this is a significant level right here in between. And other than that, stay above that and you're good. Now you're challenging with these levels here. If you can't hold these and you start breaking down, then again, yeah, this becomes your important level here. This stuff here, we have it in the box. It's basically the lower end of this box. And, you know, it plays with this price action and this and this, okay? Okay, well, that's XMR. You're still in a bit of a downtrend, but you did break this long-term downtrend. But having said that, oftentimes it can definitely come back down or retest before either holding and going higher or whatever. So again, here's the spring of 2023. So what if the price goes down? This is the top locally for now. It keeps going down until the beginning of 2023, spring of 2023, and you get your move up. For XMR, what would that be? Let's say roughly, here's a 60%, whatever, but it had already a nice, decent move. So at least a minimum, it's 50, 60%. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? So they don't all have to do well. But anyway, XMR just broke to the right side of a very long-term downtrend. So that is significant. After making what looks like very dramatic, significant double low action here. So anyway, here's the uptrend long-term for XMR. So watch for that to hold. Okay, there you go. Let's go back over here to DOT against BTC. Let's go to the monthly. Oof. Looks like it's tiptoeing around here, and the price action is weak and breaking these previous closing levels. Overall, I'm expecting price to come back down here. Price come back down here. And there's lower end of the Bollinger Band. So come back down. That's DOT. You want a trend line down this way. Now we just broke out of this, which is fine. But again, price can break to the right side and then even make lower lows or come down and like, you know, test that kind of line zone, the trend line zone. So yeah, just because it broke to the upside doesn't mean it can't come this way first before going sideways, but that's cool. That's good long term. Although in this sense here, not the greatest. That could take a while, you know, might be a long triangle of sideways action into 2024 is here. So, you know, it was the beginning of 2024. So who knows with DOT, I guess if we are more generous and we start taking that price action, it's still similar type of idea though. So a lot of sideways for DOT against BTC possibly. I mean, here's the 20-month moving average. You broke below that type of zone before it was there, but you kind of got resistance there, dumped down to this low level, significant level, got your little bounce, but I think you're going to hang out here below this 20-month moving average, at least into 2023. So maybe you come down here, beginning of 2023, you get to move up again. What's that for DOT? Let's say you're down at these lower end of the Bollinger Band. Here's 35, 40%. Here's 50, 60%. You know, maybe you come back to this level if you're lucky. I don't know. Or wherever that 20-month moving average is, could be weak. We'll see. Oof, DOT. We'll see though. Keep watching. Okay, FTM against BTC on the monthly is weak as well, but yeah, I mean, it's within that sideways consolidation after doing a big drop. Still sideways consolidating. That might take this whole zone here. And then what happens, who knows? Maybe it just made its big drop and then it's going to get to go sideways and it's going to take time. Maybe it's going to dump like hard and down. Oops. Who knows? But it's not looking good. It's not looking super good. This consolidation zone, further dump is the sense I'm getting. But maybe just consolidation in here and you can reclaim and go sideways from there. Then you've got a bit of an uptrend and you're in a decent position long term into towards 2025, which begins here. Yeah, this looks like it needs some consolidation, some more capitulation, and then you're into 2025. Feels like that's how much energy needs to work out of this price chart. And Solana, so DOT as well. Like I get the sense that some of these might show a bit of a different picture. It looks like it won't. Look, it's like it made one move down. Now it's doing a bit more of a consolidation below the 20-month moving average. And then it will keep coming down. Now you've got this price action here, so maybe it'll whatever, but does it have to come down further? And in that case, I mean, your best bet is you can stay here, but lower end of the Bollinger Band is still down here. So this thing is just climbing. So who knows how fast it'll come up. But even then, like you really, you're not in a good position with Solana. Down, consolidate, below 20-month moving average, keep coming down. How much more down? I don't know. We can look at this kind of stuff. I mean, anywhere here. I mean, why not? But we'll see. Altcoin, Bitcoin, this thing could be done forever. You never know. Like none of these things are certain, and maybe it needs to come all the way again towards 2024 is here, April. So 2025 is here. 2024 is here. Okay, so between here and here is 2024 to 2025. Price will need to come down either here or there's just such a chance that down, consolidate, come down, I mean, whatever you need, and then finally get down here. Just, you know, the shapes, they need to take enough time to balance out what they're doing. So wherever the level ends up being, but the longer in time it goes, the more likely it is to break down to lower levels. That's just sense. Okay, well, I don't know how strong this is going to be anyway, but we'll see. It looks like you need some down action in towards at least in towards 2024. Whew. This is your 2023 on Solana. This is your 2023, you know, February, March, April, whatever it's going to be. And you get yourself a nice 90% on Solana, you know? Maybe you get, you know, that's because it's bound to happen. And, you know, a little alt season against BTC, a nice mini alt season, and you get it. People are going to be like, is it alt season? It's going to be a mini alt season. It's going to be, you know, nice 60 to 120, 150, maybe 200% moves on some things. In that case, you watch out for some of the new stuff that might be coming out, because that might show the way of what things are going to be going towards. But anyway, we're going to see interesting Solana week on the monthly, and a lot of potential space and territory to cover in here towards 2025. Okay. Yeah. Until next time, that's Solana on the monthly chart against BTC. Avalanche monthly, it's weak on the weekly. Yeah, similar idea, making some sort of below the 20-month moving average consolidation here, and then going to keep dumping. Question is, do you hold these levels? This becomes, you know, this was a significant level there and there. So this is kind of your zone, and even like between here. So it's something like that. But I get the sense you're coming down towards this lower region or somewhere in here. And that's the level with that. And on the monthly, in terms of angulations, really this price action angulates you down towards, again, September 2024 is down here. So good chance that you do your thing and then you come further down, you know, and here's the beginning of 2023. Maybe this is your rally in 2023. So it's interesting how these price charts point to these things here. So, you know, you can get a 50% rally in AVAX. Some things might be weaker than others. Who knows? I do not know. And it doesn't have to be in March or April 2023. It might be in like June of 2023 instead. Okay, I don't know when these things are going to happen, but it's pointing towards this time frame. So we're going to see. That's the monthly on AVAX, relatively weak. We go to MATIC against BTC. We take it to the monthly. It's showing some support on the weekly. Here on the monthly, it's kind of in thin air here, hanging out. And these thin-bodied candles, they reek of some sort of like level that is being deviated and then soon to be broken down again. Test that 20-week or 20-month and then break down even further. It just, you know, you've got this previous price action here, you've got that action there, big huge candle to come over it. You try and hold it, but it's really weak, like this, the narrow bodies, and then come back down. That's a concern. That's a real concern, because then you start making this like weird three-part formation, and that spells lower prices. And this becomes a level which is very important, and hopefully that would take time, and then the Bollinger Band would come up here, and you would find the lower level of the Bollinger Band as your support. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Who knows? It might just be consolidating sideways before going higher again. Then the question is, what ends up happening? You know. So anyway, watch for consolidation here, and then a move higher at some point. But I don't know. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all on the monthly. It looks more like a downward potential. But anyway, look on the lower time frames to get a better sense of it. But yeah, MATIC on the monthly is not looking the greatest in my opinion. But we'll see. We shall see. let's do this for now. That's what we're dealing with, okay? Break to the upside of this and then we're still talking. Start breaking below this and we're in trouble. Okay, that's the monthly for MATIC. Atom against BTC. It's been doing well on the weekly. Oh yeah, it's looking weak though. And it did get rejected top of the Bollinger Band on the monthly in September. And so that's an important consideration. Now you're fighting these previous levels, so you need to hold this. You need to hold this as support. I mean, this zone. Otherwise, yeah, danger, because then there's the 20-month moving average you got to hold. Otherwise, boom, you're back down to lower levels here. And this is against BTC, so that's totally possible. Totally possible. I mean, if you're looking at a bit of a trend, here you go for now. That's a downtrend. And if we're looking at it from this perspective, either we're breaking out above it, which is very bullish, okay? So there is that potential. We're breaking out above it and we're gonna hold it. Or it's not really relevant as that much of it in terms of trend. So anyway, I like this. If we're gonna use this, that's fine. But then we can just take this candle here and this candle wick here and say, all right, well, what's going to happen? Let's watch the price. Is it going to narrowly go into here towards 2024? And then this is beginning of 2024 here. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. So this is what we're watching on the monthly for Atom. Cool. Important horizontal level to hold. Then you get your dynamic 20-month moving average. So you have a couple supports there. And then you got these two trends here and this horizontal line, which was previously a support on a candle closing basis, but this trend is on a wick price basis. Okay, cool. Let's find out what happens with Atom against BTC. Watch it on the lower time frames. Stick around for those weekly roundups. Here's RUNE against BTC. People like this one, and so we shall look at it too. And it's quite a big, oops, this is a weekly chart. We got a big downtrend on the weekly, and on the monthly, yeah, it looks like needs more time. Like you got a big move up, and now it just needs to just keep like going, and then maybe it'll be ready in maybe, or if you're in towards 2023, but maybe even into 2024. Kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. You just got these big up and down candles here. You have this level here, which is potential. You got these wicks right here and right here, which kind of give a level. So, but right now things are not looking solid here for RUNE. You got that longest downtrend there. And then locally, I mean, you did recently break out, but that's more lower time frame. I wouldn't choose these three candles as like the trend line. It would be more now, so more of something like this. So yeah, you could be breaking to the, let's change the color. You could be breaking to the right side of this one here and then keep coming down. And wherever you stop, maybe this becomes your support, you break down. And here's March of 2023, and then you go higher, and then maybe you challenge this again. And you make your altcoin run of like 100%, 110%, whatever. And then from there, from there, then you come back down even further, and then you're looking to break the longest downtrend to the right side, and you've got this kind of zone to accumulate on a shorter time frame. But yeah, here's 2024 right here. So maybe you're looking at that kind of price action until 2024. So the alts against BTC monthly time frame is really showing that 2023 could be weak with a key time frame to get in and then get out if you're looking to make 100% against BTC. If you're doing altcoins. But anyway, that's another story. Again, not financial advice. So this is pretty cool. Let's find out how this plays out. Lower end of the Bollinger Band is down here, so hopefully it'll come up and find support in this kind of zone too, in confluence with that. Okay, that's RUNE. I'm glad we looked at it. And then we look at NEAR. It might show something similar where, you know, it has this structure that is looks like it needs a lot more formation to the downside and consolidatory formation. Like you get this big move up, okay, and then now it's, you got to consolidate and you got to come down here, and here's 2024 right here. So yeah, it needs to come down, most likely. Let's look at this uptrend here. Okay, is it going to hold? Well, we're very close to find out, and you're at this dynamic 20-month moving average as well as support. So if this starts breaking down both these things, and you're at this important here, this red level that we've carved out here, we'll make it that color. So you're at this important level too. So you're at this confluence of these three levels. One is horizontal, one is dynamic, the other one is this trending slope here, based on this price action here, and it's, yeah, you're at this place where I don't think you keep going higher. I think you're more likely to break down eventually. Maybe you do like sideways chop, but you break down, and more likely to break down sooner than later. And then from there, you know, maybe you get some retests from the previous support to turn resistance, and then you're down here and you get a bit of support from this type of price action here level. But then you end up going down a bit further after, maybe you rebound and then come back down. So yeah, maybe here's your spring 2023 rally, and then you come down further. And that looks like a lot of the weekly time frames, but now transposed onto a monthly, and it takes so much longer. And it shows that actually the weeklies look like they could be done soon, but then when you put it on the monthly, you're like, oh wow, things need to dump even more. On the weekly, they could go higher after that, but you know, it seems like, oh yeah, on the weekly it looks like it could consolidate and then go higher eventually and whatever. But on the monthly, it says, no, it most likely the going higher is probably this thing after it goes lower first. And then after the going higher part, it's going to go even lower. So that's just the general sense of these charts. It's just the general sense of the energy of these charts, but we'll see. Stick around for more and we'll find out. Here's NEAR against BTC. And it's just telling us about timeframes and what to expect. And I think, yeah, 2023 is going to show more weakness in altcoin Bitcoin pairs. Except for, again, one or two times, especially like one time, hopefully at least, with a nice 100% move for some of these things, give or take. You can't complain on that if you can make 100% in a short order. Okay, so here's the Doge, here's the weekly, here is the monthly, and I think we're going to get rid of this on the monthly. And basically say, look, you've just consolidated below this 20-month moving average after breaking below it. Not looking good. And then if you are going to consolidate and go sideways here, maybe the next thing in towards 2024 becomes a further move down. And that makes sense. That looks right. You have your moves up, you're down, you're consolidate, you're further down, and then you can bottom. And here you are through 2024. And this looks more like the proper shape that it would end up taking, doesn't it? It feels like it's proportional to the move up, this move down, and the shape and the time seems more proportional. So that's the sense we're getting on these monthly charts across the board. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but here's your key level here with wicks, resistances, supports. And then it's really a zone with the bodies. But I mean, if you're going to be breaking down, you're going to come to here. Here's your next level here. So then it's a zone because it's just wicks, just up and down on the monthly. And at the lower end is this, a little lighter there. And that is also the lower end of the Bollinger Band. So expect the price to come down towards this level. 2023 and 2024 are not going to be the greatest of times for moves higher. But if you position yourself right and be strategic, you can definitely get it at the right times, I think, based on some of the ideas. Okay, but we'll see. None of this financial advice. I'm no specialist by far. Okay, let's take a look at TRX because that's been one that's been on recently. Wow, yeah, monthly TRX rejecting at the top of the Bollinger Band here, potentially making rejection at this previous price level here. Previous price action here, rejection, possibly, maybe not. So this is an important level. You got to get above it and hold it, but it's going to be tough. And I get the sense that you're going to reject here and come back towards this uptrending blue line. And then from there, you're going to see, I mean, you'll all have already likely have broken below this 20-month moving average. And then the next horizontal line of importance becomes this. You want to stay between these two things. And yeah, but you'd rather not break this blue uptrend. All right, but you might. Okay, so that's TRX on the monthly. Let's take a look here first. Whoa, that is a big wick. Okay, from a wick perspective, I mean, that was broken a long time ago, that type of trend. And at that point, I don't really think that wick matters anymore in terms of the trends. So this trend was broken nicely, these price actions, and then here it got rejected there by this month here, roughly, and then it still came down, but then it broke it and had some nice price action ever since. So I think this downtrend was an important one. And then recently it broke down this downtrend here, this overall thing. So this thing could be in a decent position long term, but it might just be more consolidation first. Yeah, we'll see. This level is important though, for sure. Okay, cool. TRX is at an inflection zone here. Either you get rejected or you flip it and you turn it support and you try to go higher. Cool. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely the option of just going sideways through here for a bit first, right? And then you get to 2023 when everyone else is doing their altcoin thing and maybe TRX goes higher again. And it comes to this next level here, which we have laid out in red. And that would be for TRX, let's say roughly in that time frame, if you're coming from down there, you're looking, here's your 85, 100% move in TRX. Amazing. So that's possible. And then from there on TRX, maybe then you come down. And then the question is, do you hold this horizontal support? Do you hold this uptrend, this blue uptrend, or not? But anyway, that's 2024 talk over here. Interesting. So those are a couple of options for TRX against BTC. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Some are looking better than others. For our friends at LTC, let's take a look at the LTC. Well, you've got this big down wedge price energy here. So my sense is you're going to break it to the upside eventually. And look for 2024, 2025 to be that type of time frame. So yeah, here's LTC. But you're below this important closing level here. So until you get above that, you even see this candle here rejected by it. Previous candles here supported it very briefly, broke down, rejected with this wick action, really confirms the importance of that level. And now you're fighting even just the price level here of the intra-month low. So yeah, once you get above the intra-month low, and you can then, yeah, well, you'll see, but who knows what it's going to do? I mean, who knows when it could go above this downtrend and even at what level. So, but there you go. There's LTC. It looks like it's made a significant bottom here. Maybe it's going to make another bottom somewhere and then get above. It'll be interesting to watch, very interesting to watch for the LTC against the BTC. Maybe it won't, and it'll keep going down. If this downtrend breaks and the price goes even lower, LTC be done for. Okay, but I get the sense you're going to the right side of this downtrend at some point in the near future. Here's 2024. Beginning of 2024. Okay, that's LTC, a little bonus on the LTC. And I think that's it. I'm done for now. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it's been helpful. Until next time, I'm wishing you love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.